My name's Brendan McKeating and I'm chairman of the BMA's Armed Forces Committee. We've just received yesterday the announcement of the pay award to the doctors in the Armed Forces from the Armed Forces Pay Review Body. The award was 1.5%. That was the same as awarded to the NHS consultants and GPs. We're disappointed with this result. We wanted to gain 1.5% for our members, the same as NHS doctors achieved, but we also wanted to ensure that their pay is the same as their NHS colleagues. There's still a differential for our consultants. They certainly are missing out on local clinical excellence awards, and that certainly amounts to several percent with regards to the income that can be gained by NHS colleagues. In terms of the GPs, there's an even bigger differential, and that's looking at certainly around 8% over whole career earnings. And we would certainly like to see that significant issue addressed. This has a significant effect on manning, and when one looks at the GP card, certainly they're approximately 20% undermanned for regulars in the armed forces, that's regular GPs, and for consultants in areas such as psychiatry, emergency medicine, anaesthetics, they're getting on for 50% undermanned. So we really do feel the government needs to address this issue of pay so that these manning problems can be sorted out. The main theme of the Armed Forces Conference today was around the role of the Defence Medical Services in soft power and the non-operational environment. We obviously, with the current ongoing operation in Afghanistan and more recently in Iraq as well, we've tended to concentrate a lot on those issues in recent meetings. However, this time we decided to put the focus elsewhere and on the other work that armed forces doctors do. Soft power is the concept, it was actually proposed by a Harvard professor back in the early 90s, is basically using cooperation and attraction to achieve the aims that you want, as opposed to hard power, which is effectively for the militaries using soldiers and weaponry. So we had a number of talks. We had one of the doctors who was at the tsunami, and the aftermath of that, dealt with that. We had another officer who had been involved with the 7/7 bombings in London, and then we also heard about some options for military doctors keeping their skills up to date with the civilian air ambulance. And we debated these issues and certainly produced a number of areas that we could take forward with MOD, certainly with regards to training and resourcing of the Armed Forces Medical Services. The Armed Forces Committee's main work, I suppose, really divides into two sections. The first thing is preparing written and oral evidence for the Armed Forces Pay Review Body, and that does take up a significant proportion of our time. Obviously, as you can understand, we have to get the detail right. We have to make sure that our evidence is accurate and ensure that we can try and influence the Pay Review Body into awarding what we think is proper remuneration for Defence Medical Services doctors. The other time we use to consider other matters affecting medical officers in the armed forces and just defence medicine in general, and there can be many issues we can be involved in, such as looking at flexible working for the armed forces, looking at training. We also got involved recently with issues around veterans and helping MOD in conjunction with systems such as BMA e-learning to come up with a package, a resource for NHS doctors to use. We're always looking for new blood, and we like people to get involved. So if it's the sort of thing you think you might be interested in, and you can make a difference. I sat out there once looking at what these people were doing on the Armed Forces Committee, and I eventually got myself elected and hope to make a difference. So if you fancy doing that, come and join us.